The Echoes update for No Man's Sky was touted to be one of the biggest updates to hit the platform. It was the 7th anniversary for No Man's Sky as the game, and Hello Games really wanted to push and make this update something special, including the new competition that is coming to light in only a few days, which is now Starfield. So the community really thought that Hello Games was really going to push the envelope and make something big happen. In today's video, we're going to discuss everything that came with this update, the good and the bad, and then ultimately it's up to you, the viewer and the court of public opinion, on what you think about this update. Obviously, leave all of your comments in the comment section down below. Now, can I just ask very quickly, whilst I do have your attention, that if by the end of today's video, if I have earned your subscription, then please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to leave a like on this very video. It not only helps me out as a channel to grow, but it also helps this information get out there to the wider YouTube and No Man's Sky audience. That way then everybody can take full advantage of this information. Okay, so first of all, I've seen this over on Captain Steve's video, so I'll have his video linked in the video description down below. Now, this is where, if you want to go ahead and sell your multi-tool, you can now do so and get something back. Now, one thing that really stuck out in that video, as what Captain Steve says, and I didn't notice it until I watched that video, is that look at the size of the hologram. It is freaking huge. So this is just my normal stuff. Now, you guys may know what this whole structure looks like in resemblance of, and you are completely correct. This model of the actual structure we're looking at, not the hologram itself, is in fact, look at that, taken directly from the space station. This is, by all accounts, the Starship outfitting model. And we can also further prove this by going over to a space station. So here we go, I've nipped over to one of the local space stations and it's the exact same model. The entire structure was literally ripped from a space station and thrown into the anomaly to display and function as something differently. Now, in my personal opinion about this does come across very lazy. They didn't even change, if we look at the plaque there, they didn't even change the ship on the front of the actual monitor to display as a multi-tool. It's literally ripped directly from here with no changes. I mean, that to me just seems very lazy and very rushed. Now, whilst we are in the space station, I can fly off into space. Let's not forget about one of the biggest major bugs that hit No Man's Sky in a long time. I'm talking about destroying your own freighter. Not only is this completely unacceptable to be released with a major update, but it's also ruining loads of people's saves that they just cannot get back. Now, in my last video in the comment section, a lot of people were saying, well, why would you want to destroy your own freighter anyway? What's wrong with you? Now, it's not so much that people were accidentally destroying their own freighters, apart from maybe the odd ones that actually did that, but your freighter can actually be destroyed from a load of different circumstances, such as if you get into PvE battles with different sentinels and ships, or for example, you get to like wave 5 and the big sentinel ship comes out, and that can actually destroy your freighter as well, thus crashing you instantly. So, freighter bugs to one side for one moment, because I have covered that quite extensively. Let's talk about the networking problems that are still completely persistent. Now, over the patch notes, I've been reading them, and you know, they have been saying, oh, well, we fixed this networking issue and that networking issue. However, the networking issue, I can completely guarantee you, has not been fixed. As you can see right now from this live demonstration, I am standing still in the anomaly and people are jumping in and out in the game for me. Now, that to me is just absolutely horrible. Players are just appearing, disappearing, reappearing again, and then it's different players, different anomaly instances. It's all over the place, and it doesn't matter where it is I go in the anomaly, this is completely persistent. Now, to me, this is the worst that the anomaly has ever been, and networking right now, in my personal opinion, is at an all-time low for stability. Now, this wouldn't be a fair assessment if I only talked about everything wrong with this update. I want to shed some light on some of the really good things that have come, such as the brand new, super high quality, by the way, very high quality jetpack trails. I think they absolutely make your character pop, and they are incredibly good, including all of the new alien race skins that you can pick. I really do like the look of my character now. I mean, I've been playing with a Gek for pretty much since the very beginning, and it's nice to have a change. You know, you've got the new autophage race, which you can completely customize, and it looks absolutely sick. It looks amazing. So I'm not taking that away. They've done an excellent job here with character design. So, you know, absolutely props to the team for that. And they also brought a ton of new storyline and lore into the game, which on average is around about 3 hours of extra content. Plus that, we're going to be getting the new expedition, so that's going to be extended as well a little bit further onwards. And with this new storyline and the way that the team have implemented all this, especially like, for example, with the new pirate dreadnoughts as well, the ships, they look fantastic. I feel like the team are definitely pushing in a new direction, and I like the direction in which the team is going into. Other than everything that we've spoken about that's been bad so far, I like the direction that it is going into. They just need to fix what's currently wrong, and I think they'll have a solid update. Now, another thing that does need to be fixed, unfortunately, is when we go to the teleportation terminal and we go to your bases. So these are all of my bases that I use quite regularly. Now, you'll start noticing something. These pictures look a little bit off, and some of them just repeat the same pictures on all of the bases. Now, this, unfortunately, this update has corrupted a good majority of my bases, so I highly recommend that you check yours. Make sure that your pictures all line up to what you originally took, because for me, as you can see, it's all over the place. And if we go ahead and just select a random one to go to, now all these bases have something built on them. I only keep bases that are built on, and I'm going to show you what's happened to me. Now, I'm not going to edit any of this. I want to show you real time what's actually happened. So we're just about there. And this base that I'm taking you to was one of my actual bigger bases, and as you can see, nothing. The only thing that's left is a base computer. There is nothing here anymore, which is incredibly frustrating because I did spend a small bit of time building a base here. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a base builder by any means. It wasn't a work of art or anything, but it was one of my many stations that I do have, and a lot of those bases that I showed you previously have unfortunately met the same fate. Now, one of the last things I want to talk about today are these new staff, multi-tools if you want to call them that, and they just seem a little off. Now, don't get me wrong, the models for them look absolutely fantastic. They really, really, really do, but they do seem a bit off, and it wasn't until I went into my camera mode and I had a look at exactly what was going on, I figured out what was actually wrong with them. So upon closer inspection, you can see, and just tell me if I'm being wrong with this one, but you can clearly see that the animation, the way that this chap is holding the staff, is exactly the same animation. The hand isn't even on the freaking staff. It's holding it like a normal multi-tool, as in the weapon variant of the multi-tool, the ones that look like a GUN. I can't say YouTube laws and all that, but it looks like one of those. The animation for that, I mean, even the hand at the back there is trying to grip a stock for one of those GUN type multi-tools. Where's the stock in this? Why is its hand floating in midair holding the stem of this? They have literally just not bothered to animate the character properly in holding the staff. And I was wondering for the longest time why it seems off. This is why, ladies and gentlemen. This update just seems very rushed. The way I see this update is like this. The update has the potential, and it's shown its potential, but its execution is flawed. And that's probably the best way I can do my best to describe this update. The potential is there, the direction is there, the new lore is there. A lot of things that are really good about this update are really good, but a lot of things that are really bad about this update are really, really, really bad, almost game breaking. In fact, in a lot of people's cases, was game breaking. And the fact that they didn't test that before release and they let it out into the wider audience and the community, and everybody then started to figure out very quickly that the saves were getting corrupted for the freighter incidents and things like that, sometimes through no fault of people's own, just because something blew up their freighter, and that was it. They lost the save, and some people couldn't actually get it back. So it just left me, unfortunately, to conclude with this update that it was very rushed and very pushed. And I think that was due to the fact that Starfield is knocking around the corner now. I mean, it's only literally a few days away from launch, and the team just rushed everything out without testing it in order to try and get ahead of the curve and retain the player base, which I can understand, but I don't think that was the right move. They should have tested all of this stuff out rather than release it into the world and then try and fix it later, when some of the damage I feel is now been irreversible and people have lost saves. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this all in the comment section down below. Do you agree with my assessment here today, or don't you agree? As I said at the beginning of this video, down to the core of public opinion. Let me know your thoughts, comment section down below. Anyway, guys, that is everything from me here today, and as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.